Today's gospel reading begins with fear and ends with amazement. The Pharisees are afraid of Jesus and the image of God that he is teaching. They are so afraid that they have teamed up with the Herodians. Now, this may not seem like much to us, but seeing the Pharisees and the Herodians standing together on the same side of the temple is like having the top Democrat and Republican leaders standing side by side holding hands. It seems it would take an immense amount of fear towards a common enemy, fear of losing all power, for something like that to occur. In an honor-shame society, winning in the public square required someone to lose honor. And the Pharisees and the Herodians have set a pretty good trap to knock Jesus down a peg. They begin by highlighting why people have begun honoring Jesus. They say, "Teacher, we know that you are sincere and teach the way of God in accordance with truth and show difference to no one, for you do not regard people with partiality." This statement is often dismissed, with the reasoning being that the Pharisees and the Herodians were not sincere and they were only trying to trap Jesus. Well, the way I experience the statement, however, is different. I cannot dismiss it. For me, it is the key to the upcoming amazement. As Christians, we come to know the essence and nature of God through the life and teachings of Jesus. What is God like? Well, let's look at Jesus. In today's gospel, the Pharisees and Herodians even spell out for us what the nature of God is like when they say to Jesus, "You show deference to no one, for you do not regard people with partiality." This is who Jesus was. He did not lift up anyone as better than the other. He showed no favoritism, and he created a community of people who experienced God's love and mercy equally without the hierarchy or stations of life. It doesn't matter, or at least not to me, if the religious leaders were sincere or not. They spoke the truth. And it threatened their power, and it threatened their way of life. They had to stop it. They set a trap that was a catch-22 for Jesus. Is it lawful to pay taxes to the emperor or not? No matter the answer to the question, Jesus would have shown partiality, either to the empire or to his followers. I mean, you might be thinking, well, sure, he was partial towards his followers, but was he? I mean, Jesus keeps flipping things upside down, but he doesn't exclude anyone. He just changes the order of things. If Jesus answers yes or no, it is not going to end well. It will only create division, pain, and suffering for those who follow him. Jesus says, "Show me the coin used for the tax." They brought him a denarius. Then he said to them, "Whose head is this and whose title?" The image would have been that of the Emperor Tiberius, and the title would have read, Tiberius Caesar, August, son of the divine Augustus, high priest. That would have been on the coin. Tiberius's dad, Augustus, was the previous emperor, and Rome deemed him a deity, a god. The coin had the face of the Son of God, which the religious leaders seemed to favor over the face of the Son of God that stood right in front of them, or at least that day. Jesus' response left them amazed. "Give, therefore, to the emperor the things that are the emperor's, and to God the things that are God's." Jesus is saying the coin and the image on it came from the earthly empire. They made it. It has always been theirs. Give it back to them. And that which is the image of God, the things that are and will forever be God's, offer those things to God. By showing deference to no one and by not regarding people with partiality, Jesus' words and actions stay true. He did not turn his back on his message or on his purpose. As we all take a deep breath from what had to really have been an extremely intense moment, but we now get to wrestle with what it means to give to the emperor the things that are the emperor's and give to God the things that are God's. I think that it's time better spent if we stick to the second part about giving to God the things that are God's. In reflection about the image on the coin and the image of God, I return to the beginning, Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth and light and swarms of living creatures, God proclaimed it all good. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness." So God created humankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Right from the beginning, God created humankind in his image. It does not say God created the Hebrew people in his image, nor does it say that about the Egyptians, the Canaanites, the Hittites, or the Samaritans. It does not say the clean and righteous are created in God's image, nor does it say that about the unclean or unrighteous, nor the rich or the poor, nor the incarcerated or the unincarcerated. And in the words of Paul, not Jew or Greek, slave or free, male or female. Nope. God created humankind in God's image, all of humankind in the divine image, showing deference to no one and not regarding anyone with partiality. So, what is it that we should be, what we should focus on? What should be our focus? So what is it that we offer God? We are called to offer ourselves to God. And in order for our offering to be sincere and true, we, like Jesus, are called to show deference to no one and to not regard people with partiality. Being human and created in God's image, we are called to offer ourselves to God and to God's creation with such a deep love that those around us will be amazed. Not an easy task, especially when giving the emperor the things that are the emperor's and giving God the things that are God's creates conflicts in our loyalties between divine things and empirical or governmental things. I want to take this time to address something that I have yet to address. Since God created humankind in God's image, this also means that God's image resides in all people of every government, including the people of Israel and the people of Palestine. In order to stay true to my faith, I will show no partiality to either side, including when our country gets involved. What Hamas has done to Israel is evil. We should be horrified by it. What Israel has done to the Palestinian people is evil. We should be horrified by it. Palestinian people deserve to live. The Jewish people deserve to live. This should not be a controversial statement. Led by the Prince of Peace, who teaches by word and example the way of love to all humankind without partiality, our response to such pain and suffering should always be about people. People. Humankind. As we offer ourselves to God, our response is to people over governments. The image of God over human created structures. This should also not be a controversial statement. The safety, health, and well-being of all people, comes first. This is the challenge within today's gospel. Each of us has to decide for ourselves the things in our lives that are the emperor's, and thus what things we should offer back to the emperor. And we have to decide for ourselves what is God's, and what are those things that we give back to God. My hope and prayer is that when our wrestling is over, our response will be without fear, and those around us will be amazed. Amen.